here in this one, again, not gonna be surprised if Kimmy makes an appearance. That might be a little too problematic if that happens. But we will see if they have a very squishy lineup. Hayabusa, even their front line, their tank, Kalea, is not really built to take really a lot of hits.
So there's a Kimmy, there's a Sicilian.
Yeah.
You can't pick up like anything like the Eve anymore if there's a Selena. I mean, you can, but oh, there goes the glue and Twisted Minds.
Yeah, that is what we mentioned earlier, that the glue pick looks better for their lineup. Let's see, hopefully no problems arose, as we did get to see James call out the assistance of the Marshals earlier on.
Oh yeah.
We're just waiting to see what the gold lane pickup was from Twisted Minds. If it was able to push through successfully, seems to be that the Marshals now are talking to the coaches. So yeah, I'm just acknowledging what we're seeing here. Let's see if this is going to be the final lineups.
We're gonna have to wait and see, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll find out how well this is gonna work. If this is the actual last pick, they might be talking, and they might have done like a possible read. We might do a possible redraft here on that last one if they called it before the pick happened.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And for this one, if Onyx locks in something, we will see Edith.
Yeah.
A very classic for Kurt. So I think they are going for it. They might just go for it here.
Yeah, I think these are the lineups we are definitely pushing through.
Yeah, so here we go. It looks like we are pushing through, and the players are getting ready into their form, the raised feet form, where that's just a pro player move. And then we'll also see that everyone seems to be settled as well on the side of Twisted. Feels like we are going into the game here, ladies and gents. And we are gonna see a very interesting lineup here for Twisted. They still have that Paramis combined with the glue this time around. Feels like it is a very sturdy lineup this time.
Yeah. Imagine seeing so many pickups. Like the hero pools we've seen in day number 1, they just, even the Edith appearing this early on. I can't wait to see what happens in this game.
Let's load it in the game. Casters, take it away.
Take it away, we shall. Thank you again to the panelists for breaking it down. And now we're jumping into the Land of Dawn. It's game number 2 in this best of 5 with Twisted Minds looking to even out the series against Onyx Philippines after they took game 1 in a rather clean fashion. Now, we had some questions in the draft. I feel like, you were there too, Redmar. And what was the biggest thing that just kind of maybe brought the question to this composition here?
Well, for the side of Twisted Minds, they decided to go with a lineup that's very all-in. Dive, fight as a team, even though you do have an option to go for a 4-1 split with a Hayabusa, doing essentially what a Ling does for the lineup of Onyx Philippines, which is to open up the map and split push. But Onyx Philippines responded to the Faramis very well by picking up the Edith. What we've always talked about was if you're going up against a lineup that has a Faramis and likes those longer extended team fights, an Edith is a perfect answer for that. Because if you time your Primal Wrath really well, either you take out Faramis's ultimate right away, or just when Twisted Minds thinks, okay, it's cool, we forced out a lot after we use the Netherrealm of the Faramis, suddenly a Primal Wrath from the Edith comes in and it just shakes up Twisted Minds so much.
Yeah, as we can see, like Redmar mentioned, the Edith good when it comes to extended team fights, but apart from that, Super Prince this time rocking the Selena, and we all know whenever Super Prince has the Selena, but wait a minute, though, first blood drawn. Fourth squad of Twisted Minds, they're going to bring down Kirk, but I think they're still going on. They want to go for Brusco. There comes the Ghost Bursters. Flickers are forced out here, coming in from Brusco, and a kill for Twisted Minds.
Yeah, so surprised that they made a quick play down there, as you're already mentioning, this Edith coming into play for Onyx Philippines. So they handled Kirk, they even got the Flicker out. Super Prince is going to be fine here. Turtle's up, though, so that's going to be the focus. And one of the things you were mentioning on before that all is, Super Prince on the Selena has been really good throughout the season. We'll see if he's able to lock in those arrows in this game. But so far with Twisted Minds, the way that they're moving, they have to be, focus-centric on playing together. I mean, think about how much utility this lineup gives Twisted Minds throughout the entirety of this game.
Yeah, lots of utility there. Twisted also made the perfect rotation. They wanted to take the Edith out of the picture, especially for that first turtle. That was more an investment into this first turtle, because now Onyx Philippines, it's tough for them to contest this without the Primal Wrath, although Kirk was able to hit level 4.
Okay, Escalera goes in. He's already level 4. Haven't committed the ult yet. But now they're trying to go for more, and they're going to bring down Brusco once again. King Kong tries to answer back and gets the turtle, and is going to escape.
Just waited for the moment. Oh, he's going to be able to escape, but they're going to put pressure here. They have to on this purple buff. King Kong's going to rely on the team.
It's a 4-man rotation. Here comes the rest of Twisted Minds, though. Kelra from the back with the Zaman Force. Envy the King was able to shadow out. Will he go back in time, though? Hajizi already forced out the Nether Realm as Kelra trying to work on James. He's going to bring down the Ultimate Fighter once again.
Perfect rotation. I don't think Twisted Minds expected Kelra to be already there in that purple buff, and that became 5 versus 4 as Twisted Minds might lose more.
Fortunately for King Kong, the Templars of Blades was there despite the Tsunami Slam. He was prepared to clap back and evens out the kill scoreboard 2-2.
And that's why they're known as the Super Fam. I mean, early decisions like that, think about it. Kelra came all the way for that to help, because they knew, okay, we lose this. Brusco wasn't at level 4. They're going to put pressure on the purple buff. We know how important it is when the Ling comes into play, that he needs to have that purple buff. And so they have to rely on each other to make that happen, because that's the same thing that Twisted Minds wants to do with this lineup. They're playing around each other down the mid lane.
There's the combo from Escalera connecting on to Kirk. Kirk was able to flicker out, but Brusco manages to turn things around and sacrifice for the bruiser of Onyx Philippines.
Shadow Stampede, perfect by Hajizi, able to get the pull back so that they could at least secure the kill onto Brusco. It forced flickers out of the 2 frontliners, and with Brusco burning his flicker but not escaping, that was a good trade for Twisted Minds. So they were able to make up for their missed call into invading, as MP the King now getting pressured by King Kong. We're getting an anime battle, but it's a stalemate. James is here, 2v1.
2v1 situation here. King Kong, I think he's going to be able to escape, though. Already forced out the Templars of Blade, but Hajizi is in the picture this time, and he's going to be able to escape.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think, at least for Game 2, Twisted Minds doing a great job in this early portion of the game. Just going back and forth. You know, they're trading blows with Onyx Philippines, and that's kind of what they have to do. The lineup lets them do that. And so when you look at Onyx Philippines, how they approach these fights, it's so pick-off-centric at this portion of the game. And it will kind of be that, because, again, King Kong can't just jump into the fight. That Tempest of Blades ultimate is so important for him. And now the turtle's up. He's going to stay bottom side. Arrow's going to land here. They might just try to force something, but it looks like not. Twisted Minds will get the second turtle. Or third. Wait, second.
Second.
Yeah.
Second.
As expected, Onyx Philippines are now opening up the map as Twisted Minds have gone into their Ube formation. Now just going to be clumping up. This is the strength of their lineup at around the 5-minute mark, around the second turtle. They're going to balance out the push that King Kong did down bottom, with the minion waves finishing it up. And now Onyx Philippines might actually be able to fight this in the river if they want to. But Twisted Minds now reading the situation very well. They're like, wait a minute, this doesn't look good for us. All right, let's just back on out.
It's a good choice. Again, it's really just trading blows. They're finding what they can across the map. They know that, I mean, part of this too, think about the previous game where there was pressure across the map with Kelra on the Mozcom, but this time around it's King Kong with this Ling, and we know that that's always something you gotta watch out for. Yeah. So Twisted Minds wants to get that scaling going. And MP the King's had a rather really good, comfortable start. You know, he hasn't had to do too much. He's building up quite a bit of damage already this point on. Yep. So even as the Hayabusa, knowing that you have a Faramis with you lets you be a little more aggressive, I would say, in comparison to, for example, King Kong, where he's really got to choose those fights properly.
Yeah, King Kong's still very fast with the leveling, though. Seems like for the past 2 to 3 minutes, always a level or half a level ahead of MP the King. He's a level 11 now. MP the King level 10. Looking at the gold leaders, of course, King Kong and Kelra doing good for Onyx Philippines, the main damage dealers of this composition, while Outplayed has had a very comfortable time farming.
Yeah, we almost saw an anime battle down bottom. I believe the 2 junglers already used up their ultimates. And this time, MP the King making sure that King Kong won't be able to just split push for the side of Onyx.
Man, I feel like there'll be a true anime battle if they just, like Ling needs an anime skin eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know which one that's going to be. what other collabs are going to come. But hold on.
They're going to commit. The Tsunami slam onto Kirk. But
Oh.
Brusco with a beautiful fist break, fist crack once again. Hajizi goes in with the Nether Realm. Keller just dancing in the middle of everything as everything picks up a kill onto Brusco and to Kirk. King Kong enters the picture now. Outplayed though. Tempest Blade already casted.
King Kong able to get away from this. Twisted Minds going to be continuing the turtle, and Onyx Philippines will have to drop it. The ultimate of the Pharom is the utility of the Netherrealm. Perfect. King Kong!
MP the King delivers the final blow. And Twisted Minds. That was a 4-kill swing for them.
They got a whole lot, and they're going to get more off of it. They take the orange buff as well. It doesn't matter if King Kong's building up the levels, man. If they lose team fights like that, if they can't go and just pick off the right members. I mean, think how much was thrown to even get outplayed, and they just didn't have it. So Onyx Philippines gets checked on that side of the map, and that's not good going into when that Lord does come up in about 1:20 here.
Yeah, and this is what you actually want from Escalera. Even down to the previous game, the second turtle, he was the one that started things off with a flicker and Tsunami Slam, and this time replicating that, but with Kirk. And full collapse there for Twisted Mind. Even if Brusco was able to clap back, though, they lacked the numbers because Prince and King Kong wasn't in the picture.
Yeah, Netherrealm right in time. Keldra looked like he was going to threaten Outplay big time, but Outplay got to flicker out, and Escalera was actually peeling for his Granger. So it was great targeting by Twisted.
Another Tsunami Slam already casted there. Weak Shadow Kill as well. And here comes Kelra. Zaman Force already popped down, plus the Netherrealm. They're going to be able to bring down Hajizi. Outplay picks up one more as Keller will be able to walk away.
Okay. They're holding on to the mid lane. Meanwhile, King Kong pushing on the other side of the map. But the focus here is that mid turret, or at least the pressure from Twisted Minds. They've got a nice little lead at 3,000 up. So Onyx, this is what they do. If they're behind, they look for whatever scraps they can find around the map, put pressure where they can. But so far, so good for Twisted Minds. The team fight capability that they have is what's really the advantage for them. The Netherrealm, time and time again, has helped them extend those fights enough. And Escalera is doing a great job at setting things up, even under the turret, like we just saw him do previously. Let's take a look at the items here, how they're falling into place for both teams.
All right, I want to look at the two gold laners. Already up to 3 core items for the Granger. Went into the Sea Halberd route after the Sky Piercer. While Keldra only has 2, but of course the Holy Crystal is a very expensive investment. He does have the Starlium and the Feather of Heaven, so he's good in that regard. You saw that the Harith is getting to the point where you can just brute force Harith it, where it's like 3 versus 1, 4 versus 1. As long as I got my Zaman Force, it's okay. I can try to make things happen, and that's where he is right now in terms of his items.
But for Twisted Mind, the counter of Hajizi with the clutch Netherrealm. But wait a minute, Kirk! But still, Tsunami Slam already connected. Brusco goes from the back with a fist break, fist crack combo. Keller being able to free hit. Escalera might be the first man down, but Hajizi again with the clutch Netherrealm.
He threw it while he was flying, and now Onyx Philippines looks like they're gonna fly.
King
With
Kong.
this battle, King Kong flies into the back, and he wants more, but MP the King survives.
Used up already the Tempest of Blades, and what a turnaround again for the defending champions.
That little moment just gave them a whole lot. Goodbye 3,000, 4,000 gold deficit that Onyx Philippines had to work with. And that was what? Kirk that started it all.
Yeah, that was a split-second delay that favored and turned the tides for Onyx. I mean, Flicker casted, Tsunami Slam already used up, but Kirk was able to use the onward to delay the attack of Twisted Minds.
I thought it would be a moment where Escalera, the animation of the title strike, is still going to lock in, but no, it seems like he just jumped into the arms of the mech of Edith, got thrown on his head, and then suddenly Twisted Minds was like, wait a minute, how did that happen? And Onyx Philippines just took over. That was crazy. I haven't seen that interaction.
Hey man, they don't call him the Kirk attack for nothing.
Yeah.
That was something that an architect would basically do. They put together perfectly. But now from this point, Lord's going to be worked on. The shield will pop. Tier 2 turret in the mid lane is going to go down, and King Kong will continue to put pressure where he can. So they hold on to base turrets. Twisted Minds is not out of this yet. They do find themselves facing now the deficit 2,000 gold against themselves. their fighting capability is still good, but you can start to see the pendulum swing in the damage that Onyx Philippines is able to put through, especially how they have to kind of burst through that Netherrealm. They have to deal with Escalera forcing the setups that they've responded really well to in the last couple minutes, especially.
Yeah, I like the discipline that Twisted Minds showed, especially in that last sequence. Of course, I want to assume that they were somewhat rattled a bit by Escalera not being able to complete his initiation with what Kirk did. But at the same time, Twisted Minds backed off at the right time. It could have been much worse for them. They waited for the entry of King Kong. King Kong was even put a bit in the red. That King Kong had to go, all right, I'm going to use my Tempest Blades, but it's more of like to just deal a bit of poke damage, get out of here, I'm zoning out. Because if he decided to full commit that, he would have been punished instead, and you wouldn't want to lose the Ling in that situation. So Twisted Minds know when to back off. Seems like they've learned from that mistake that they did at the beginning of the game, wherein they invaded the purple buff, not expecting or respecting Kelra being able to rotate down there.
Arrows again. This is where the thing, too, comes in the clutch for Super Prince. The scouting capabilities with the arrows, the traps, too. Brusco also playing front side. It's their turn to go ahead and put pressure on the purple buff here. They still got 20 seconds for the Lord to come up, and they'll go ahead and take that. Now, MP the King, you know, at this point, he hasn't died. He's been able to relatively do well.
Yeah.
But when we think about this next objective coming up in 10 seconds, what does Twisted Minds need to do to win that fight, to secure themselves an objective and possibly be able to push towards the base of Onyx Philippines here?
Yeah, it kind of has to start with Escalera again, connecting his Tsunami Slam, catching Onyx off guard.
So just not let Kirk do that again.
Yeah. If he'd be able to catch up onto Kirk and he won't be able to utilize the Primal Wrath, that would be a good sign, because that means that Hajizi will be able to use the Netherrealm for the Zaman Force of Kelra.
Yeah, I also like the more counter punch approach that Twisted Minds is going for here, playing around the Netherrealm. Just continue that. They're not completely in the red. It's only 2,000 of a gold lead for Onyx Philippines at this point. They can definitely turn something around, but what hurts is they're losing that push up top. They need to send the Hayabusa to push there. So the 4 that's going to be left around the Lord bit have to do what they can to make sure that Onyx Philippines can't rush, which they're rushing.
Okay, they're trying to rush the Lord. Brusco goes in for the delay Kelra as well. There's the early engage for Onyx, but Brusco is going to fall down. James leading the charge for Twisted Minds.
Very early for Brusco.
Yeah, that was not what they wanted to do. He also had to burn the flicker in that. So Onyx Philippines might adjust it. Even down Brusco, it looks like they'll just go ahead and keep putting pressure. They know the purple buff's going to be up shortly too. King Kong will focus on that. So this is actually a window of opportunity that Twisted Minds could take advantage of. Oh, Narrow.
Oh, they have to play this right though. They cannot bait out the Netherrealm.
King Kong knows he's there. They have the information.
Oh, they're going for it. King Kong from the back! Eliminates MP the King!
2 abyssal arrows from the Monster Mage to completely break and twist the formation of Twisted Minds to set it up for King Kong.
Did I not say Super Prince will provide the vision? And that whole exchange came from Super Prince scouting them out, giving the information, especially to King Kong, to swoop on in and clean up the kills. And now with that, again, it's a swing in favor for Onyx Philippines. The base turrets are in trouble here for Twisted Minds.
I mean, if you can recall how Super Prince picked the Selena early in the season, it was actually his decision. His recommendation to their coach to let him play the Selena, and now he's showing why he wants to use the Selena.
My goodness, 2 arrows, and we're where we are right now. Onyx pushing into the base, Twisted Minds losing ground, losing gold. Heartbreaking for Twisted Minds, but for Onyx Philippines, that was just damn good MLBB.
Even in the base, playing the dodging game, just dodging these arrows. A conceal is going to be used. Brusco goes up to the front side again. Just wants to get this turret down. They still hold on to it, though. So Twisted Minds, both turrets 1 hit away. King Kong will clean up the top one. And now Wave still pushing in. We'll see if they clear this out completely. This is the discipline that we've seen from Onyx Philippines in the past. Even with a lead like this, they're very calculated. They know they can play around Super Prince. And if they really wanted to force it, Brusco as well, as that flicker is up. There he is!
Brusco! with the combo though, but he's gonna fall down. That was well worth the trade. They were able to take down the inhibitor, but they were going for more. Another Tsunami Slam committed onto Kirk. He was able to cast the ultimate, but he's gonna fall down in the hands of Twisted Minds. 2 members down for Onyx.
Let's see if Twisted Minds can get more. King Kong has to run away. 3 members of Onyx left of the map, but the map state does not look good for Twisted Minds. Yeah, they can't even get a clean push down the middle of the map. The side lanes are not going to be good, despite Onyx Philippines losing too. They took down all the towers. Let's see if Twisted can convert. It's going to be a difficult conversion, though.
Yeah.
It's like when you saw that and we mentioned, well, Brusco can start it too, and he gets taken out. It's, in a way, you're wondering, is it worth it? Was that worth the fact that Brusco and then eventually Kirk went down? It will be if Twisted Minds can get some of these turrets down, so they will get mid tier 1. They're managing the pushing happening on the other side of the map. This might be a little window for them, a little win, if you will, for Twisted Minds, but they have so much ground to cover, and it still doesn't solve the issue of once this Lord is up, are they actually, is it questionable to say, can they actually go in a team fight against Onyx Philippines?
Yeah, considering the fact that there's constant pressure also from Onyx to try and divide Twisted Minds. And they, of course, for Twisted Minds, they want to group up and make use of that Nether Realm. So now, Twisted Minds, it's going to take a miracle for them to come back or even just steal away the Lord, because Onyx, they can play this systematically.
Yeah.
We are now in HLG, hella late game, as the 2 gold laners are now barefoot. They both sold their boots, bro. It's all damage items.
Is that a regular abbreviation?
No,
or?
this is my my addition to the abbreviation dictionary.
All right.
I'm one of the few ones to, send submissions. That's my first one. Hopefully, it gets accepted.
Hopefully. Who's the deciding factor of that?
I believe it's Leo and Mirko.
Okay.
Mostly Leo, because he's the one who started the whole thing.
Yeah,
I think.
Leo's Mr. Abbreviation Man. Right now, the Lord is up though.
Minions.
James gonna go in forward.
Okay, Twisted Minds forced to fight. Minions are there for on behind the Brusco again! Connects with the flicker.
Oh, an
Mr.
arrow.
Got combo to bring down James. The arrow connects onto Escalera. King Kong just playing with his prey. Forced out the Nether Realm. Templars and Blades will connect. Kelra from the back as well. They're just bringing down bodies for the side of Twisted Minds. In the 4-kill swing for Onyx. MP the King trying to delay, but Onyx says 2-0.
Man,